All right. Well, thank you, folks, for taking the time to come and check out this video. This video is actually going to be a little different than the ones I have done in the past, where before I have done just walkthroughs with the background music from Enshrouded and then um, no commentary, but I decided to do this one a little bit differently. So where I'm at today is at Surat's Rest, and as you can see from the map, it is south and east of the Pillars of Creation. Now, before we get going into the tour and regarding what I have done, I want to kind of give you a little bit of background here. So this is actually the third time that I have done Surat's Rest. Excuse me here while I get some water. The first time that I did Surat's Rest was early on when I first started playing Enshrouded, and I was anticipating making this my base, and as it turns out, like a lot of players, I ended up moving my base from one place to another. And after having level 3 characters, I've decided that I don't really need a main base because I primarily enjoy this game for the base building. And so the first time that I did Surat's Rest, I did all the buildings. I kept it pretty much similar to what you find in terms of the limestone block and some of the mixed sandstone block. But as you're going to see, I decided to do something a little different this time. And but the second time that I did Surat's Rest, I had actually didn't finish it. I don't know if I just wasn't feeling it, what it was, but I got about halfway through and stopped and decided not to continue on. And honestly, I'm not sure why I decided to do this again, but I did. And I'm very happy with how it came out, and I hope that you guys will enjoy this video and maybe give some inspiration. One of the things that I did differently this time, and this has been taking me a while to get this through my head, is to not feel like I gotta stick with what the building structure was. If you're familiar with Surat's Rest, you know that there's a lot of broken down buildings, there's a lot of rubble, and some of the buildings that you look at when you first go in, it's hard to know what the use of the building was, and so some of the buildings I actually tore down completely and redid it the way that I wanted to do it. Others, I kept the ouch, I guess you would say the shell, but made some changes inwardly. And so again, if there's one thing that I could encourage people is to not feel like you gotta stay locked in to having to stick with what the building was previously. And again, it's hard to know how some of these buildings were envisioned as having been used. So here I am at the just before you get to the bridge. So part of what you see here is some of the structure that was there. Most of it was broken down, and I added a little bit. I added some trees, and as you can see, I've added grass in there. So I had to actually put a fifth altar in order to be able to get the whole bridge. I wanted to be able to do the whole thing, and so I was able to do that. And as you can see here, the entrance here is actually a lot different than what it originally was, and so I wanted to create something little grander, if you will, for the entranceway that would have a kind of a couple of lookout towers. So you can kind of see from back here, and there's a bridge between them. I'll show you inside. Inside, they're really basic. There's nothing grand about them. There's just a stairway. I used the spiral stairway that goes up to the top, and as I said, there's the bridge there that goes across. So when you first come into Surat's Rest, there is actually two buildings that are on the left. One would be to the immediate left of me, and then one where you see the platform up there to the left, and I'll get there as we go along. But on the right, there was another building, and one of the things that I wanted to do in this restoration, and I'm calling this Surat's Rest Reborn. And my approach to this was not to just think in terms of workshops and trying to have everything set up for the workshops, although I have accomplished that. But my approach to this was more so along the lines of, if this were a city, what things could I do that would make it feel like a city? So that's the approach that I have taken here. So I completely redid this building on the left, and I've made this, and I'm calling it Surat's Rest Inn. And so as you come in, there is the innkeeper, if you will. There's a couple tables, for the guests to eat. The bathrooms are down here. And then this is the kitchen area where the prep work happens. And then back here is the innkeeper's quarters where they sleep. And then upstairs, so let me just give you kind of a quick look here so that you can see. I've tried to add a variety of things to this to kind of make it a little bit more like somebody actually lives there. This is one of the comments I've gotten before on Reddit, that it looked not enough stuff, not enough to make it look like somebody lived there. And part of that, I think, was because of the large space that I was working with. And so and as the longer I play this, the little easier that I find it to do that, but it's still a learning thing for me, and as I continue to do more, I believe that this will actually help. So here's one of the rooms, and this one has its own bathroom, and I think that these other two rooms, there's a shower and a toilet, but they have dividers to provide some privacy. And like I said, this is the Same thing here. And I did add these frosted windows just to give a little bit more appearance to it. And then over here is just a little kind of a nook, little seating area where people can sit and just read and have some quiet. So this is the inn. And now across the way here, again, the idea was this would be these towers up here. So you would have guards, if you will, that are up there throughout the day, just monitoring things, just keeping an eye out, so to speak. But I thought, well, if you're going to have guards, why not have a kind of a barracks housing for those who are on guard duty? So here is kind of the, you might say, the waiting room, if you will. And the idea behind this was to have it so that, as you can see here, there's shields and swords. So when individuals go on duty, they come in, they grab their shields and swords, and they head up to the tower. Also, there is the ability to do food prep, and if they imagine, if you will, they do shifts, and so when let's say they do 12-hour shifts, and they're on for 2 hours and off for 4 hours or whatever it is, so they can come over here, sit down, have a meal, and then over here I added a sleeping area. So when they're not actually up there on the guards' towers, they can come in. There's a toilet and a shower, so they have those basic comforts, if you will. And then I set this up kind of as a, if you will, everybody's got their own bunk, but it's kind of like a guard house, and there's not intended to have privacy, if you will. So coming back down this way, this was nothing there after I made all the changes, and so I decided to put in a little pond here and just kind of spruce it up. Now I'm going to come back to the top here in just a moment, but I want to head over this way. So this just goes around this building that we'll come back to in just a moment, but I ended up putting stairs up here, and this is one of the buildings that's behind the two buildings that are on the left-hand side initially. And again, just trying to come up with some ideas of what to do with a building. So I decided to make this Surat's seed house. And so I put in a bunch of planters, and the idea is, and we'll see the farm later in the video, but the idea was to, they got to grow seeds, so they can grow the seeds here. And there's an individual, there's a person who has that responsibility, and so this is their job. They tend to the seeds, and then you got these small little plants in these pots, and then they can take the pots out to the farm and grow them out there. And then I added, or actually no, this is not the one. I thought I added a house up there, but this is not the one. So this again is just, as I'm calling it, a seed house. And so, and this these two end pieces here were already there, but this little walkway here was not, and so I added that. And as you can see here, I made kind of a lake slash river that goes behind. We'll see that as we go further along. So coming back down, and again, this building here was there. I made some small changes to it and made it a seed house. So coming back this way, this building was here. I made some changes to it, not a lot. Most of the changes to these types of building I made was more along the lines of the roofing. I made some changes there, but at any rate, over in this area there was a smaller building, and I got rid of that completely. Didn't want it, and so in its place, I created this outdoor seating area, and this actually goes with, you might say, with the building. So this building is Surat's Rest Town Hall. So this is where they have their town hall meetings, and I wanted to set it up kind of along that line, if you will. And so I fixed it up, and hopefully it looks nice. And up front here is where the city council the leaders would sit and, talk with the people about their plans and whatever else. So that's what I did with this building. Now continuing on, and I think I'm just going to go around the right and then make my way back to the other buildings. Now, this building here is storage. I actually decided to carve it out into the mountainside there. So I just put in the storage. Obviously, it's to function for different things, but the idea here is that this would be a community vault, if you will, and people can come in and get their belongings out, and then sit at the table there, and when they're done, they can actually put it back. All right, so this building here, since we're already here, this building, again, I made some changes to it, and one of the things you're going to notice as I go through this, most of the buildings were the limestone block. It's fine. I don't dislike it, nor do I necessarily like it. It is what it is. I've used it in some of my other building restorations that I've done. And so, but this time I wanted to do the buildings a combination of the mixed sandstone and and I forget what the wood there is called. And I just when I tried this, I liked it. I thought, well, that looks pretty cool. So this building, as I said, was here. I'm calling this Surat's Rest Pub. So the idea here is that this would be an establishment where people can come in and, have a couple beers or whatever, and just sit and chit chat over a drink. And so, it's not big, but it's big enough for a few people to come in after work and just sit down and have a drink. But the one thing that I did do, because inside here, if you're familiar with Surat Rest, you'll know that there was kind of an upper area here. So what I did was I took advantage of that, and I made this up here. And forgive me, I forgot to put the door in. But I made this area up here. So this is the pub keeper, the guy that runs the pub. This is his living quarters. Okay, so he's got the basics. He's got his own bathroom here, and so he's got his own nice little setup. All right. So this area here, some of you may recall, it was mud. So I basically just dug up a little bit of it and then just put grass over it and was done with it. But this building here, I other than changing out the blocks on the outside, I didn't really do a lot on the inside. But I did, put in. So this is the housing for one of this is Galen's home. And I just put the basic stuff in here for him to have. And let me just show you out here real quick. So I fixed this up because the area inside to me wasn't ideal for a bathroom. And this is why I said earlier, when you look at some of the buildings, it's like, what do I do with this? And so I decided to put in a bathroom in the back here. So he's got his shower, toilet, and sink back here. So that way he's still not, it's not in the house, so to speak, but at least he can have his own private bathroom, if you will. All right, so I put in little coffee table there, couch, fireplace, and then this was all pretty much already here. I basically left it as it was. Again, it looks like somebody sleeps in here. And so that's Galen's home. And then he's got a door out here. All right, so let's go to the right. This building here on the right, I'm calling this Surat's Rest Airbnb. So the idea would be is if people are coming in town and they need a place to stay for a few days, then they'll have some place to be able to do that. And so when you first come in, there's a fireplace. So I put a fireplace in there, made it a little seating area, and then you come in and you go down. And the reason, like I said, when I was doing this, when I started out, I was trying to think, okay, what can I do with these buildings? So there were a couple columns where this table is, and I was trying to what could I do with this building? And again, what I tried to do was to think in terms, okay, if this were an actual town and somebody was coming in, but let's say they don't want to stay at the inn, or let's say that the inn is filled up and they needed some place to do. So they could actually rent this and have their own place, so you can sleep a couple people in here. And then again, it comes with its own bathroom, and so that makes it convenient. So again, just kind of give you a shot. So there's windows up here. All right. Now, I'll go to the right here. If you're familiar with Surat's Rest, where you see that rock outcropping here, this flat space was actually not here. There was some flat space, but basically what I went through, and I imagine community here, they need farmland, and they needed to be able to grow their own food, and So I thought, well, let's put in a farm. And this was the only area where I thought that this could be a nice farm. So I did some terraforming, took out a lot of the ground that was there and made it flat and put in some crops. Over here is the blacksmith workshop. So I put in the basic things that you needed, and again, try to make it look like that there was actually work being done here. I put in these things that the blacksmith might make, and including some armor and stuff, so it can be seen. And there's a bathroom down here, so while he's working, and then again, this was already here, so I didn't really do a lot of modification to it. But when you first look at it, and one of the things that I did in this project was I wanted to, in a way, like redo the shell so that I have some idea of what it might have looked like in terms of the shell. So here I put in the kitchen, and so the blacksmith and his daughter, you know, they can come down here and eat, you know, their breakfast, dinner, lunch, whatever. And then up here is their living quarters. And so, you know, it's pretty spacious. They've got a good setup here. And then, of course, you got this balcony area. They can come out. They can have friends over and come and just hang out and just spend some time together. And then, of course, you have these stairs that go out. So, this building was here, but it wasn't quite. I did make some changes, and again, in thinking about what could I do with this, and there's going to be a couple buildings that I'm not going to go into because I didn't do anything with them because I ran out of ideas of what to do with them, and I wanted to get this done. But this is what I'm calling Surat's Rest Public Bathrooms. And we'll see upstairs there's space for a couple people to live. So you got a kitchen area, and you know, any outdoor events going on, they can actually cook some food here. So I made separate stalls for the showers, separate stalls for the toilets. And as I said, I put in a couple bedrooms up here, living quarters, so that way, you know, people need a place and can keep an eye on things down below. Nothing fancy in there. So let's go to the Alchemist Tower. As many of you probably know, Surat's Rest comes with this tower. The only thing I did was made some repairs to the outside, and I didn't have to really do a lot to this main structure. So when you come in, you go upstairs, and I went ahead and make this kind of like a little seating area where the alchemist can do some work down here. But up here is where his work takes place. So I put all the alchemist stuff up here, and he can do all his works. He's got a pretty extensive library and potions and such. Now, the tricky part for this was, what do we do in terms of the living area for the alchemist? Because you know, you look at some of those areas and you go, where do you put them? So I put in this stairway down to the next, uh, the bottom level, and made it just a quaint little home for the alchemist. He's got his own bathroom, and the basic necessities: kitchen, table, so they can eat. Now, this actually goes down farther, but it goes down into the shroud. So I didn't do anything with this, but when you come down here, there's this little chest here with some goodies in it. At any rate, so that's where the alchemist lives. Or I should say he sleeps when he's not working during the day. All right, so continuing the tour. As probably most of you know, well, let me come to the arena mode. So this building here, again, was already here. I did modify the inside a little bit, but so this is the living area for the barber and the collector. So you can see they've got, again, a nice setup, spacious. They've got their own bathroom in here as well. And then in this area, they have a little seating area where they can come, sit down, have some coffee, read a book. Now I'm going to go ahead and sleep here so that can get back to daylight. All right. And of course, there's this doorway out. So this is what used to be the arena, okay? And some of the arena was already made with that mixed sandstone block, but the rest of it was limestone. So for this, I decided to, rather than using the limestone or the wood block like you see on this, the timber block, I decided to go ahead and use the temple stone. And I think it came out well, but the idea on this was, before this was restored, before the shroud or whatever happened here, after the world change, if you will, this became a place of scavengers and an arena. And so this is what this building was actually used for, was an arena. And so I decided to make this Surat's Rest theater. All right, so that way, the community can come together, and in a place where there was death, now people can have fun. So I put in this little platform. I took the red carpet block and put that down. And so let me show you the upper level first. So I changed out all the shroud wood with the conifer block, but I replaced a lot of the benches and the stone seating. To get to the other side, but basically the other side is pretty much the same. It, just pretty much the same thing. Now, actually, let me. And most of you know there's an upper area here. All the roofing in Surat's Rest I changed out for the desert roofing. I just thought that it looked better than the whatever the shingles are that you use for that. But at any rate, so that's the upper area. Let's come back down. And most of you know that there are 4 rooms down here, and I believe that this is where the captives would be kept to, before they're sent into the arena. So I made each one for a different purpose. So here is kind of like the kitchen. So when there's events, people can, food can be prepped and served, cooked, and kind of like today. You go to a game, and they have vendors there. So it's kind of along the same lines, except not as detailed, if you will, in terms of that. But here we have kind of like what I would call the changing rooms. And again, forgive me, I forgot to put the doors up. But those who are performing, they can come in and they can change and then go out to perform. So let's come to the other side. I'll show the other 2 rooms. So this one here, I decided to leave it more or less as it was because this would serve, so if somebody came in and wasn't familiar with Surat's Rest and what this particular facility was used for, then you can bring them down here and say, hey, this is where people were imprisoned and eventually taken into the arena. And then on the other side, this is kind of where the performers, the musicians, if you will, the instruments are laid out here for them, so they can come in and get ready for their performance. But like I said, I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, and I feel like it turned out pretty well. Because of the placement of the altars, I was able to get down here and do some fixing up here. And of course, that's where your quest and the chest is. So if you've never done and you're thinking about doing Surat's Rest, make sure that you've done the quest before you do this. All right, so as I said, this is the Surat's Rest theater, where people come and perform. And all right, so coming over the right, this building here, I don't know what it was originally intended for, but I made it as a little side storage. But here it is the workshop for the huntress and her sleeping area. So I put in little dining area, kitchen area, and then this is all her workshop items. And then up here is, room for herself and one other. And of course, they have their own private bathroom, and they have a balcony out here where they can come out, sit out here, and have some coffee or whatever. Not what I would call a great view, but nonetheless, it's outside. So we can come over this way. When you go out the doors here, I put a couple of the drying racks out here, and yeah. So coming through this way, again, this is one of the buildings I was talking about where didn't know what to do with it, and so I just made this for like wine barrels and things like that, as extra storage. Now, this building on the right, again, if you're familiar with Surat's Rest, there was several levels to this. So in thinking about well, let's make this like apartments, because you have, I think there's what total of 23 NPCs that you have to house. So when you come in, kind of so you got a seating area over here where people can sit. You've got the dining area here. Now, there really isn't a kitchen area because there's places that you can go to get food. So it's not like that there isn't any place for these people to eat or bring food back. Now, up here, so there's a bathroom there. And then there's a couple bedrooms here, and then another bedroom, and then I put some sinks out here and some bookcases, and but then you can come around, and I added another level, and so we got a couple more bathrooms. Bedrooms here. Nothing big, just, kind of cozy. And so, and I believe that the idea behind this building originally was to have kind of a storage, I think that's what it was originally intended for. So coming over here, here's the bridge. And again, these columns originally were limestone. So I made a lot of this on the temple blocks. And here's kind of a lookout here. I suppose that's what it was. So I fixed it up. And then there's an area down below here. And then, I didn't really put anything in here. But so the stairs came down a part of way, and then I added all of this, so you could just simply walk over and just be able to look down below there. So coming across the what I did was I made this whole area water, and so I created this kind of tiered water thing that goes down, and it just goes down to it just goes down to down here. I guess it just floods it down there. I don't know what eventually happens to it, but at any rate, and then this here is not originally there, but as you can see, you got the water there. But I went ahead and made this kind of walkway, and this goes into, now the first time that I did Surat's Rest, there was a little opening here, but the rest of this was not here. So this walkway that goes up to here wasn't there the first time I did it. So I think probably in the last update they added that in, which is nice. So here I made this as a home for two NPCs. They got their kitchen area and dining area here, and then in here sitting area, they got their books, they got a couple desks, some storage back in that area there, and then this I added this space here so that there would be their own personal bathrooms. But here you got the beds, and again seating, and then out here I put their tables and such, so they can sit outside. All right, now this is the carpenter's workshop and home. So here is kind of the storage, the table for him, kind of the stuff that he makes somewhat. And you can see here This is his work area, some of the things that he's made. Now back in this room, I decided to make this additional storage, both for him and the huntress and whoever else may need. But you can see the potters and pottery and all that stuff that the carpenter can make. So I made that kind of his area. And then up here is, this is his own little space up here. He's got kitchenettes. He's got couch, little seating area, and then of course you got 2 bedrooms up here. And again, they have their own bathroom for themselves. All right, so coming back down, this building here, I didn't do anything with, wasn't sure what to really do, so I just kind of left it as it was. So I think, there's one other building here. Well, actually, there's 2. I'll come back to this one in a second. So this one could be future apartments. I made it kind of actually 3 levels. So you have this level here, you have this level here, and then you come around here and it comes down. So this could be a big kind of an apartment area for more NPCs. But then over here is the Surat's Rest eatery, and that's all this is. There's no, not like the inn where there's room in there. This is just a place where people can come and have a meal and eat.
Hello
and so,
there.
We've got plenty of tables and seating for folks. Got the kitchen where the meals can be prepared, clean up, and all of that. So that's Surat's Rest. Again, I'm glad I decided to do this because as I said at the beginning, the second time that I did this, I did not finish it. I just could not figure out what to do with the buildings. And then and it's like, nothing says that I have to do the buildings a particular way. I can do them as I want. If I want to tear them down and put something up, I can do that. If I want to just alter the structure of the inside of the building, I can do that. And so I'm happy with how it came out, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed this, and maybe this will give some of you some things to think about, some ideas. But at any rate, thank you for watching this video. And again, this is Surat's Rest Reborn.